What you just watched is a dramatization of a pivotal moment in my life. I was a curious 18-year-old raised in homogeneous suburbia. My rebellious instincts possessed me to get out of my otherwise stable home of origin so I could explore what the world had to offer me independent of my parents' approval. On the very day my estranged parents anxiously dropped me off at my new habitat, Stony Brook University, I was obsessed with leaving my juvenile dorm peers immediately, took the Long Island Railroad into New York City, and walked 8 blocks to 42nd Street for the sexual playground that defined Times Square in 1976. Every street and avenue in this central vortex of Sin City was saturated with sex. Without the guts to enter any of the overwhelming X-rated venues screaming for my attention, I wandered alone and anonymous in the riot of the daytime swarming crowd, unable to put my desires into action. But then I suddenly realized I was in fact an active player in the spectacle of Times Square when I was cruised and approached by a young, handsome male hustler who gently introduced me to my first man-on-man encounter in a local hourly rate hotel. My new male lover seemed familiar with all that seemed strange and dangerous to me. He could not have been more than a year or two older than me, but he was worldly navigating around this otherwise lawless territory. After our hour was up in the sad little hotel room he had generously negotiated and paid for, I had finally climaxed with a real live man instead of the posed images in Playgirl magazine. Thinking it was just a lucky rendezvous with a muscular Italian young man, he then whisked me off to the notorious Gaiety male burlesque theater where I was easily persuaded by my mentor to dance and strip on the well-lit stage after watching how effortlessly he had performed to Andre True's More, More, More. All the actions leading up to this moment revealed that what I thought was my first male love was only a male hustler scouting Times Square for new young talent to add to the assorted lineup of street-savvy men the Gaiety featured for their diversity in performance and cultural backgrounds. My mentor's agenda was to seize an innocent, fresh discovery off the streets for the jaded world of the male sex industry to feast on. I always loved dancing, and exposing my nude body for money actually excited me. I bravely performed my virgin performance, which satisfied the audience that the owner of the Gaiety offered to feature me as a regular weekend performer. I was given the stage name Cristo and was billed as the athletic boy next door. I would leave Stony Brook on Fridays and return on Mondays to resume my identity as a full-time student determined to graduate with a bachelor's degree in 4 years. I was steadfast not to allow the distractions of stripping at the Gaiety to interfere with my graduation from college. I had more money than I knew what to do with, glamorous disco nights where I danced for hours in ecstasy, and the availability of drugs from anyone, anywhere. I remained at Stony Brook an extra year to obtain a master's degree, leaving with a strong resume that contained no trace of my stripping career. I assumed the responsibility of a legitimate, well-paying job to live properly in New York City in May of 1981. I gave up stripping as I began my professional career, but the disco bug kept me addicted to going to the best clubs in New York from 1976 to 2004, regardless of the night of the week. I ruined my professional career due to my preference to party than to focus on maintaining secure, well-paid jobs. So at the age of 42, a full-time substance abuse user, and with nothing to lose, knowing I was unemployable, I was determined to pay my rent and continue to party in New York City. I knew I was still good looking enough to charm my way back into service as a paid go-go man and escort. I lied that I was 10 years younger. I had a gym fit body, I maintained even on long substance abuse binges, had the experience to perform like a professional, and the freestyle disco dance moves perfected in the best clubs in New York City made me a natural performer. I was represented by a male stripper production company that booked me to dance in clubs throughout the tri-state area. My life had come full circle. I had lost property, possessions, friends, lovers, family, and my self-respect. Everything that my once prosperous professional career had given me, including a home to call my own. Everything was suddenly gone. I saw myself with an expensive habit and lifestyle to feed, but didn't want the responsibility of seeking another corporate 9-to-5 job. I would drive myself long distances to club gigs booked by the Male Go-Go Company, alongside 18-year-old sexually confused young men or gay for pay, just like I was once at the Gaiety 25 years ago. While I liked the dancing for pay plus the crystal meth that kept my spirits up, the long drive home became sad as I looked in the rearview mirror where I was and what I was doing, my haggard aging face, and my rapidly advancing mortality. I wrote about my glamorous and dangerous experiences at some of the most exclusive and underground clubs in New York City, as well as the growing consequences of my haphazard lifestyle as a cautionary tale to sexually suppressed gay young adults like myself who might look for validation by exploiting their youth and beauty, resorting to illicit activities and relying on mind-altering substances to escape from the dead-end truth. My enticing but dangerous lifestyle choices had led to a tedious future of life restricted by the law, difficulties finding compassion in a healthy relationship, awkwardly trying and failing to make amends to family and friends I had let down, and struggling to rely on a single antiquated recovery program that, as much as I have problems with many of its original doctrine, is surprisingly the only formula for success in staying clean and sober for the past 80 years. I've undertaken different roads over the past 15 years to be free of my deadly but addictive lifestyle that once was fun and consequence-free. But now I am in my golden years, and I'm sorry to report that I am still chemically dependent on legally prescribed medication. Been at dangerous crossroads which give me no option but to make desperate calls to institutions like emergency rooms, rehabs, psychologists, as well as doctors with prescription pads to rescue me when I think I can't continue to live anymore. I suffer from acute withdrawal from my addictive lifestyle. It is a self-inflicted disorder that only I can change. My book, Homo GoGo Man, a fairy tale about a boy who grew up in disco land, is available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and my publisher's site, DonnaInc.com. For more information on my story, contact Christopher Duquette on Facebook. Thank you.